long time ago, in a vast forest, there stood a grand banyan tree which served as the capital of the crows. That thousands of crows lived there, including their king, Megavarna. Near the banyan tree was a large hill filled with numerous caves. These caves were home to a colony of owls, led by their powerful king. Arimardana was a fierce ruler who had declared crows as his number one enemy. Then that first he despised them so much that he refused to eat until he had killed a crow. As the attacks on crows increased, their king, Megavarna, grew deeply concerned. He called for a council of crows to discuss the problem. Addressing them, he said, "My dear crows, you all know that to the owls' attacks, our lives are in constant danger. Our enemy is both strong and arrogant. They attack at night when we cannot see. We cannot retaliate during the day because they remain hidden in the darkness of their caves." He then asked the wisest crows to suggest a solution. Crow suggested, "We should make peace with the owls and accept any conditions. There is no point in fighting an enemy who is stronger than us." Many crows cowed in disagreement. A hot-tempered crow shouted, "We should not negotiate with those wicked creatures. Let us attack them at once." Pessimistic crow sighed. "The enemy is too powerful. We should abandon this place," Lee Crow advised. "Leaving our home is not a good idea. If we go elsewhere, we will be completely vulnerable. We must stay here and seek help from other birds." Among them, the cleverest and most intelligent crow was Sthirajivi. He had been silently listening to the discussion. King Megavarna turned to him and said, "You have not spoken yet, wise one. I wish to hear opinion." Sthirajivi replied, Your Majesty, when the enemy is more powerful, we must use deception." "What kind of deception? Please explain clearly," asked the king. Sthirajivi said, "You must insult me and pretend to attack me." Megavarna was shocked. "What are you saying?" Sthirajivi flew to the king's branch and whispered, "We must stage this act. The owl spies watching our meeting from the nearby trees. We must make them believe we are divided and fighting among ourselves. After that, you and all the crows should leave Rishyamuk mountain and wait for me. I will infiltrate the owls' ranks and bring about their downfall from within." The act began. Sthirajivi shouted, "I am telling the truth, but you, the king's foolish son, refuse to listen. White fists, why do you insist on leading us to death?" King Megavarna roared in anger. "Traitor, how dare you speak to your king like that?" Several crows screamed, "Kill this traitor." Megavarna struck Sthirajivi with his wing, knocking him off the branch and declared, "I exile Sthirajivi from the Crow Kingdom. From now on, no crow shall have any relation with this wretch." Then that fists the owl spies hidden in the trees with excitement. They quickly informed their king, Arimardana, that the crows were fighting among themselves. The owl general advised, Your Majesty, this is the perfect time to attack. We can easily defeat them now. Arimardana agreed and immediately ordered an attack. Thousands of owls stormed the banyan tree, only to find it deserted. How cowardly! Arimardana spat. The crows ran away instead of facing us. Such weaklings deserve nothing but contempt. The owls hooted in triumph, celebrating their supposed victory. Meanwhile, Sthirajivi, who had been lying on the ground, let out a weak caw. One of the owl spies noticed him and exclaimed, "It's the same crow that their king insulted and exiled." King Arana approached and asked, What happened to you, crow? Sthirajivi feigned sorrow and replied, "I was the chief minister of King Meghavarna. I advised him to surrender him to the Grey Owl King, as your rule is strong and just. But he became furious, insulted me, and cast me out of the kingdom. Now I have no home. Please grant me refuge in your kingdom." Arimardana hesitated, but one of his cunning ministers, Majesty, never trust an enemy. He could be deceiving us. Kill him now. However, a flatterer among the ministers objected, "No, your Majesty, keeping this crow with we would be beneficial. He knows all the secrets of the crows and can provide us, Armias, with valuable information." Aridana found this idea. The owls took Sthirajivi with them, declared, "Give him the best accommodation in the royal cave. He must not suffer any hardships." Sthirajivi humbly said, "Your Majesty, it is enough that you have granted me refuge. Let me stay on a rock outside the royal cave as your humble servant. I wish only to sing your praises." Sthirajivi took up residence just outside the royal cave. One of the old ministers again warned the king, "You Majesty, never trust an enemy. Bringing him into our home is like inviting disaster." Arimardana glared at him angrily. "Stop advising me. If you don't like it, you are free to leave." The wise old minister sighed. Destruction follows those who ignore good advice. With that, he and a few of his followers left forever. Over time, Sthirajivi began gathering sticks and placing them outside the cave. One day, an owl asked, "What are you doing?" Sthirajivi smiled and replied, "Winter is coming, and I wish to build a hut to keep warm." Slowly, he accumulated a large pile of dry wood at the entrance. One night, when all the owls were asleep, Sthirajivi flew to Rishyamukh mountain, where King Meghavarna and his crows were waiting. He instructed them, "Each of you must carry a burning stick in your beak and follow me." The crows, carrying flaming sticks, followed Sthirajivi to the owl's cave, dropped burning wood onto the pile that Sthirajivi had gathered. Fire spread rapidly, filling the cave with smoke and flames. Inside, unable to escape, they perished either from the fire or suffocation. That King Meghavarna honored Sthirajivi with the title, the Gem of the Crows. Moral sheltering an enemy within your home invites your own destruction.